This week, I've been spending time with the 2025 Lexus LX700h. This is essentially the luxury version of the Toyota Land Cruiser. And since the United States gets what's essentially a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, this is the only way you can actually get a technically proper Land Cruiser right now. Base price for the LX non-hybrid is just over $108,000, and as tested for this ultra luxury hybrid variant is just over $141,000. Unlike the other trims with the 3-row, the ultra luxury is actually a 4-seater, so you don't have a 3rd row back there. So we'll be reviewing this from that aspect. I've been spending all week with this car. We'll look at the exterior, take a good look at the interior, and then we'll take it for a brief drive. The exterior is finished in this beautiful Norway green pearl. Very nice green paint. You get running boards that run along the side and these 22-inch forged alloy wheels. This does have an adaptive variable suspension, and if you want to take your $141,000 vehicle off-road, this does have something called active height control, where it can just pretty much raise and lower at a push of a button really quickly. This also does have crawl control, a bunch of different drive modes. We won't be covering the off-road aspect today, as pretty much nobody in the United States is probably going to take the $141,000 variant off-road. Lexus does make an over-trail variant of this model, so if you're interested in going off-road, go ahead and check out that. Let's go ahead and start with the trunk here. You do get a kick sensor underneath that will open the rear power liftgate. Back here, you do get a lot more usable space than you would with the 3-row variant. As equipped, you get about 30 cubic feet of space. You do get this nice cargo shade. You do get a 2400 watt outlet back here as well, which is nice to see. And underneath is a full-size spare. You can just see it peeking underneath. You do get an integrated trailer hitch with this nice little cover on it. This vehicle can tow 8,000 pounds as equipped. So under the hood of this LX is a 3.4 liter twin turbo hybridized V6 mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Makes about 457 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque and gets about 20 miles a gallon combined. Once again, this is a full-time 4-wheel drive vehicle, and I believe the electric motor is in between the engine and the transmission. I think it's just a single electric motor. You do get hood struts, which is pretty nice to see, and it does take a pretty common oil 0W20. This has got to be one of the largest grills I have ever seen on a car. It's pretty comical how large that is. To get these nice triple beam LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, of course, LED fog lights. Let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. We'll kind of start with these door handles. All 4 door handles have the smart key access. You know, you press this to lock, and then there's a touch sensor behind the door. Just grab it to unlock. What surprised me is the inconsistency here with the Lexus's lineup. Other Lexus models that I've reviewed recently have these electronic door handles, and you know, they look exactly like this, but instead of pulling out physically like this, it's just an electronic latch. These are just regular door handles, which I don't mind, but it's just weird that their highest priced flagship car has these manual door handles. Very interesting. As we step into the interior here, you're greeted with this very nice sun flare color. I had a couple people say that this vehicle is kind of colored in an avocado, so this is the Lexus avocado, everybody. But this is semi-aniline leather, and it does have this, I believe, Takanoha, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, wood trim throughout the vehicle, which looks proper and sharp. All 4 seats are heated and ventilated. We'll go ahead and climb in here. But back here, you can see my leg room is pretty limited. Headroom is actually pretty decent. I have about 4 inches, but leg room in this vehicle, even for this guy over here, the driver's seat is in my position. I'm 6 foot. You're still very limited with passenger space. These seats are probably some of the most comfortable seats I have ever sat in a vehicle. They're so plush, so supportive, no issues with comfort at all this week, except the passenger. I think the passenger in here is an afterthought, and you can kind of see how the floorboard, maybe you can see with the lighting depending on how it is, the floorboard's kind of pushed forward, and anybody that's sat in this passenger seat this week has felt like their knees have been up to their chest. And 3 out of the 4 seats in this vehicle are massaging. Can you guess which one isn't? The passenger. So this is literally essentially a chauffeur vehicle. You do have peasant blockers in the sides of the doors here, although they are manually operated, which is a little bit unfortunate. Some other competitors have controls in the screen here. But I mean, it's not that hard to go do this. I'm not too fond of this rear seat entertainment system back here. The clarity is okay, and you actually have to pay a separate fee to cast something to this if you don't use your HDMI port that's included in the vehicle here. You have to use an app called Miracast, and when I pull up the app, I'm greeted with a $19.99 lifetime access one-time payment or a subscription option in order to be able to consume content on these screens back here. Just a little bit unfortunate. I think you'd be better off just buying a iPad and then one of those like headrest mounts from Amazon and just doing it that way. It's cheaper and it's a lot better quality, and they can just use AirPods. You do get headphones included back here that you can put on. This is where you can control pretty much everything inside the vehicle. You got your audio controls for the stereo. You control the climate back here, the heated and ventilated seat controls. You can control the position of the seat. We're gonna go ahead and put this seat into the relaxing mode. The passenger seat will slide all the way forward. It takes a second here for it to do its thing. And then we'll push an additional button to fold our little ottoman down here. I really wish there was just one button to do it all and you didn't have to press and hold that button there. And then if you want to fold the entertainment screen out of the way so you can see the road ahead of you, press another button and voila, you're fully relaxed and reclined back here. You also do get this relaxation menu here. You can choose from 5 different levels of massages, and you can see all the selections you can choose from there. Control the reading lamp up here, which is pretty nice. It's very, very, very bright and dimmable. Kind of reminds me of an airplane lamp. And control the settings of the display. Up here you do get a couple cup holders, some storage down here, a little bit of storage. And here's your connectivity for those rear seat entertainment. You have the HDMI port, which you could probably put a Fire Stick in, a couple USB-C ports, got some vents, wireless phone charger here. We already explored in here with those headphones, but you do got 2 additional USB-C outlets. Moving on to the driver's seat here, you get the Lexus logo embossed in the headrest and these super nice supportive seats. You get that little thigh rest that extends. It's super nice on long drives. A R3 person memory. We'll go ahead and climb in here. I did forget to mention the doors are also self-latching, so if you don't close them all the way, they'll draw in for you and latch closed. No power doors in this either, which some other competitors offer for the price, so that's just something to note. To the left here, you do get your integrated trailer brake controller, some physical controls for the brightness of the digital gauge cluster. That's pretty customizable up here. Then you look over here, it looks like somebody decided to jam a Steam Deck into this dash. I have no idea what was going through the person's head that designed this, but this looks absolutely terrible. This is a 12.3-inch infotainment. Does have wireless Android Auto, wireless CarPlay, and a 360 reverse cam. But then coming down through here, you do get an additional, I think this is like an 8-inch screen to control the drive modes, the front and rear climate. This has a 4-zone climate system and different settings to control the thematic illumination ambient lighting that this vehicle has. You can also turn this screen off if you don't want it on. I don't know why Lexus didn't go with their corporate 14-inch massive infotainment that they have in all the other vehicles. You also do have a button for Climate Concierge that uses the sensors in the vehicle to, I guess, adjust the climate that is best suited for each passenger. And coming down through here, you do get your multi-terrain select button. You can choose from deep snow, mud, sand, dirt, or auto. You do have your drive mode selector here, which you can just twist this little knob here to go between custom, sport plus, sport S, normal, comfort, and eco. I've been riding around in comfort this week. A couple USB-C ports, heated and ventilated front seats, automatic heated steering wheel, a shifter that's ripped straight out of a Toyota Prius, electronic parking brake, brake hold, center locking differential, traction control, and the ability to adjust the air suspension in real time. You can see I just pressed it and this vehicle lowered like that. If I press this again to raise this back up to the neutral position, I mean, within 10 seconds or less, the vehicle's back up. Wireless phone charger, and then in here you do get a refrigerator. Well, like essentially a cool box. You just press this button here and it'll start cooling. It does hamper your center console space here quite a bit with that fridge, and it does not stay on when the vehicle is off, so keep that in mind, but it is a nice feature to have. Then over here you do get your very small glove box auto dimming rear view mirror that is also digital. to get your sunglasses holder, a sunroof, no panoramic sunroof, unfortunately. And when you have this panel open, it does make quite a bit of wind noise. So I've been keeping this closed all week. The interior quality is pretty nice. There are some hard touch plastics, especially up here and up on the dash, which is kind of unfortunate given the price point of the vehicle, because, you know, sometimes I like to rest my arm here while I'm driving and it hurts. A little bit of a bummer for $140,000, and there's actually one rattle, and I'll actually go show that to you real quick. It's been driving me nuts all week, and it's something in here. Not quite sure what that is, if it's a window regulator or what's been going on, but this is also a press vehicle. I'm sure this thing's seen some abuse. I mean, there is a pretty nice large gash up here up front as well, so who knows. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and take this thing for a spin and see what it's like on the road driving. Nice and smooth. Takeoff, throttle inputs. It's 10-speed shifts like butter. This powertrain is super refined. The ride is absolutely incredible. It soaks up every single bump and imperfection in the road effortlessly. Gets up to speed nicely. You get paddle shifters behind the wheel here to control that 10-speed. Come in handy for towing. You get Lexus Safety System 3.0. Does have a driver attention monitor here, all sorts of advanced safety features. Does have adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. Works flawlessly, keeps you centered in your lane nicely, as all the Lexus and Toyota safety systems nowadays do. Very torquey. That hybrid system combined with the super torquey motor here. Great combination. Now, handling. Not very good. I mean, that's what you'd expect in a vehicle that's this massive and heavy. I mean, it kind of handles like a bowl of oatmeal. The steering is slow, but light. Very easy to drive. Go ahead and throw this into Sport Plus and do a quick 0 to 60. Brakes actually feel great considering how massive this SUV is. All right, and floor it. Plenty of power, no problem at all. It is so quiet in here. This is one of the quieter vehicles I have ridden in for sure. And while you're cruising on the highway and enjoying this nice quiet cabin, this is equipped with a Mark Levinson premium sound system, which sounds actually pretty good. I've really enjoyed it. I would rate this a high A-tier system, not quite an S-tier, not the best I've ever heard. I think a vehicle that costs this much should probably come with an S-tier system. I've even tried EQing it out, but it sounds good. But yeah, for this price, I would expect an S-tier system. Overall this week, I've been getting 16 miles a gallon. I cannot figure out for the life of me how to reset that MPG counter there, so that is incorrect. I've tried a bunch of different ways, and I can't figure it out. But something I wanted to note is I believe this comes with a 18-gallon tank, if I remember correctly. So the range is horrendous. When I filled it up earlier today, I was only getting, I think, 285 miles of range. I get better range on an EV than this thing does, which is actually insane. So, you know, for road trips, I mean, you're really limited on where you can go. Overall visibility is pretty good. Without that third row, there is a lot more visibility out the back. You do have that digital rearview mirror in case you're not able to see out the back for whatever reason. But nice big windows, big old side mirrors with blind spot monitoring as well to get automatic high beams, automatic lights, obviously, and automatic wipers. Let's do another quick acceleration here. We'll just keep it in comfort, see how it does in comfort. Not bad. Not bad. And that's actually crazy, the range there. I could barely make it to Detroit, Michigan from here on one tank of gas. And that is absolutely wild to me to think about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments regarding the Lexus LX. I'd be curious to know your guys' thoughts and how it stacks up against the competition. All right, let's go ahead and demo that advanced park assist real quick before we conclude the video. We will pull up to a spot. I can't remember if Toyotas require you to stop. So we'll go ahead and press this button here. Let's choose that spot here, and I want to, yes, back into that space. So start, release brake to move. All right, it'll do its thing here. I could find this particularly handy in parallel parking situations. This also does parallel parking, but it may take a little while for someone behind you to wait for you to do this, but if you need to do it, I can do it in a pinch and do it well. Well, guys, that concludes my review on the 2025 Lexus LX. I think you're better off with going with something that costs much less in Lexus's own lineup, the Lexus GX, which I believe shares a platform with this. I think it drives just as well, and it's half the price. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll go ahead and see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.